So far in this world, the warm biomes have dominated. But today, we're going to return to the cold biomes and build an igloo. This igloo is going to be complete with a basement and the top layer. And there's even going to be some other things involved in this module. This one's going to be a lot of fun, so let's get started. Alright, for this build I'm going to be starting out with our 16 by 16 or 8 by 8 blocks base plate here. Now, this is pretty small, but this build is going to be way more vertical than it is going to be horizontal. Alright, let's start with the basement here. So I'm going to lay out how big it's going to be, and the size is going to be 7 by 5 Minecraft blocks. Alright, so there we go. There's our 7 by 5 plating for the igloo basement. Now, the walls of that are going to go around that, and I'm going to fill in the jail cells for the villager and zombie villager there. Alright, so here are our cages. Sadly, since I made it so game accurate, villager and zombie villager are not going to be able to fit in there, but I'm still going to make the cages and put a torch there. And I'm also going to make the walls here, but not here and here. That way it is open for viewing on these two sides. Alright, our basement structure is almost done. There's going to be one last wall segment I'm going to put here, and this is the wall with the ladder because I couldn't leave that out. So it's going to go right here, and the way I built that was just alternating this tan color and gray going up like the ladder. And I'm not actually going to make the shaft in the thing going up all the way. Alright, now it's time to add the decorations. So we're going to have our carpet. Our red carpet right here. Our table with the cactus on the flower pot right here, made of spruce planks, which I'm just using brown for. And finally our iron bars for the cages, which are just gonna go in there. Alright, one last thing that's going to be in here, for now at least, is this custom brewing stand that I just made. And it could use some improvement eventually, but I like it right now. And it's going to go here. Alright, and that is our igloo basement interior. So now I need to add a roof up here, and I need to make stone behind. Alright, there we go. So now that looks like the actual cell with the stone in the back. And finally, for the roof, I made this roof, and we're not going to see the top, so it's okay if I use curved pieces or pieces with stickers. But on the bottom, it's just that, and it's just going to go right there, just like that. And that is our igloo basement. It looks actually really good. A lot better than I thought it would look, and it's dark enough to be the basement. The roof finished it off really well, and it looks a lot like the real thing. Alright, so now it's time to turn this around and fill up this wall. Now, I'm not going to fill in this part because this part's going to have nothing, but I am going to start adding stone over here like this. On this side, the wall doesn't need to be perfect. The wall can just use colors like this that don't really matter because you're not going to see this wall at all once it's done. It could look a little messy in the beginning, but eventually my hope is that the world's going to get to the point where you can't see this wall. Alright, and there we go. Our walls are completed. This one looks a bit messy right here, but that's okay. And all the rest of it looks pretty good. So that is our igloo basement. Now we've actually got to go 3 blocks higher to get to the main igloo so that we can make that ladder shaft, which is going to go right here. Alright, so this is our shaft. Now, a ladder can't actually fit in it, and definitely neither can a minifigure, but it's just gonna go right there all the same. Now, the reason I made this shaft and didn't do like just a wall around it that's 3 blocks high is because maybe at some point I can put a cave here, because I don't know, it just seems like this would be a waste of space to not put anything in this layer, or maybe just like a player built mine. Alright, time to make the top layer with the igloo itself. So for this, I'm going to be using this, and they're just going to snap together. And I've already got the carpet laid down, so now I just have to build the igloo up around it. Okay, so here is our finished igloo, and it looks pretty good. Here's the ice windows, and the roof is easily detachable, even more easily than the witch hut, which was not very easy at all. More easy than the village house, though, and it reveals the interior, which I'm about to decorate. Alright, in my igloo, I need to put a furnace, a crafting table, and a redstone torch on this side. And on this side, I need to put a red bed. Alright, time to seal it up. Alright, time to put the igloo on top of our basement and secure it. So, the igloo is going to go right here. And now, all I have to do is keep it together by adding this here and securing it on. Alright, and here's our finished product. So here's the igloo on top. We have this player-built mine with 2 torches here. On this side, we have that little open gap here that I'm going to conceal, I think. And then I had to put a bunch of support beams, as you can see, all around, so that this whole heavy structure, which is, yes, very surprisingly heavy, is actually it's stable. It's very strong on its own. And then down here, you can see a little less of the basement than I wanted you to because of this support beam, but you can still see it pretty well from this side and even from this side. So I think it's time to populate this module. So I wanted to put a villager here, but sadly he can't fit in the cell because it's game accurate and the villager's height is not. So I'm going to put him here instead. He looks a little too big to be allowed, but still. Over in the player-built mine, I'm going to put my little fox guy from the Fox Lodge that I recently got over here. And finally, up in the tundra area, I'm going to put a Arctic fox from the Fox Lodge. Alright, so it's time to attach this to my world, and here comes the big problem. There is absolutely no place to put this module. It is not compatible with this world. I wanted it over here on the cold side of our world, but as you can see, it's literally taller than everything else here by a lot, and it leaves this, so it looks awful from this side, and any side really. In fact, it can't even go over here next to the jungle on the worm side because it's still taller. The terrain itself is the tallest I've ever built. It's literally taller than the mountain. It's taller. The only thing that actually is taller than it in this world is the jungle trees from the Trail Ruins module, and those are trees. That's not even ground. So I think it's time to build a hill, or a cliff more like, going from here to here and making a good transition. So this is going to be only 3 blocks by 8, so it's smaller than what we normally do by a long shot, but it's only for transitioning purposes, and I'm just going to make a cliff that makes it look more natural. Alright, our cliff is completed, and it is block accurate completely. So it is pretty cool from this side. It's not perfect, but you're not going to see this side, just like you're not going to see this side. So it's time to connect our modules. So this is going to connect just like that. And now time to connect this to our world, and it's going to go right there. Well, we have just expanded our jagged peaks and made the whole thing look more mountainous, and the terrain looks even more awesome with this cool igloo at the top, and then this cliff leading down to the jagged peaks and the rest of the lower world. I think our cold side of the world has gotten a lot better for this. This world has really gotten big, but there are some holes that are becoming more and more apparent, like this huge chunk hole in the center of the world. But that is all for this episode. Please like and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next, and I'll see you next time.